Welcome back, divers. Today's topic is about ear problems. For divers who are not accustomed to them, this topic is usually limited to the quick and basic information got during the open water course, and interest in this topic is often scarce. Instead, for divers who have to frequently face them, some additional information and greater clarity might be the help needed. In a dual way and direction, ear and sinus problems may have a direct correlation with stress, fear, and technical limitations, which are the main topics of this channel. Ear problems can be a consequence of stress, fear, and technical limitations, limiting our capacity to deal with them. Or, on the flip side, they can lead to stress, fear, and technical limitations as a consequence of our inability to prevent or solve them. In both cases, they can have a huge impact on our diving career and enjoyment.
In his book Ear Pain, the author Anton Swanepoel offers a good opportunity to go beyond the basic information obtained during the majority of open water diver courses, still keeping the topic easy and understandable to all. While the author is not a medical professional and his final suggestion cannot differ from always consult a medical specialist before taking any medication or following any advice, he offers his expert diver perspective on this topic.
Ear problems may be a consequence of different scenarios, not all diving related, and before moving on to more specific diving related problems, the book offers a general set of information, such as a quick description of the possible causes, the ear's anatomy, and its features. According to the book's definition, an ear barotrauma is a damage caused by pressure change. We could classify it as a positive pressure barotrauma, which may result from descending without adding gas, known also as squeeze, or a negative pressure barotrauma, which may result from ascending without releasing the expanding gas, in this case known also as reverse block. To safely equalize our ears, we need to allow gas to move from our throat into our ears when descending, or in the opposite direction, from ears to the throat when ascending. These are the fundamentals to dive into this topic. The author also reminds us that even a simple 4 foot or 1 meter seawater depth variation, if not compensated for, can cause a rupture of the tympanic membrane. Therefore, within the depth range reached during a recreational dive, a meter counts and can make a difference. Nothing that we shouldn't already know.
If you have spent a sufficient amount of time diving, you may have heard many different suggestions or seen various methods to deal with ear problems. However, not all of these suggestions or methods work, and some of them could even cause more problems than the ones they aim to solve. It is important to remember that the person offering help does not feel what the diver in difficulty feels, and they may have never experienced it before, making their personal experience on this topic limited, even if they are expert divers. Often, those not used to face these problems tend to underestimate the pain suffered and the possible consequences of wrong suggestions. Moreover, sometimes they may not merely offer tips, but ever physically push down or pull up the diver in trouble, potentially worsening problems, pain, and consequences. While suggestions are usually welcome, blindly following them is not advisable. Instead, it is better to start building our personal knowledge and ideas. Think before following advice blindly is perhaps the most obvious and powerful suggestion of the whole book, and the author shares an episode from his career, which is not so uncommon, illustrating how blindly following advice can lead to problems and unpleasant experiences. Of course, we usually seek a long list of tips and secrets to solve our problems, and the book does offer a wide list of tips, probably no secrets, but a reminder to be an aware and responsible diver is crucial above all other considerations. Being aware of our actions while diving is the only guarantee for long-term success and for overcoming the various obstacles that we may encounter.
Why do some divers experience ear pain more than others? The author suggests that from an anatomical point of view, which is personal to each individual and determined by nature, the main reason seems to be the size of the eustachian tubes. Temporary conditions, like colds and flu, can also amplify the problems resulting from this individual anatomical conformation. Moreover, Our opinion is that also behavior plays a role in answering the question, why always me? Poor diving skills, such as fast descents or ascents to start and end a dive, as well as frequent and rapid changes in depth, can complicate matters.
Sometimes getting a prompt qualified medical opinion is not possible. In such cases, the section Getting Through the Night offers helpful suggestions. We would like to add that we should plan for this in advance, as we may not have immediate access to a pharmacy, as for example during live aboard trips. Relying solely on the medic first aid kit available at the dive spot might not be sufficient, especially if we know we are prone to ear problems. A small personal collection of the suggested products could be a good idea. Additionally, it is better to consult a qualified specialist doctor to determine what we should include in our travel pharmacy before embarking on the trip. For the same reason, we would suggest to consider warm ear protection, like a hat. Diving often takes us to windy areas, and a warm hat can be very helpful after diving. As well as, like it or no, we may have to sleep or anyway stay for a long time in air-conditioned cabins or rooms. It is better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
We have mentioned that equalizing means moving gas between the throat and ears. But how can we practically do this? The book lists many different methods which can be used individually or combined in various ways. It is a precise list with names and explanations of what we may have heard here and there, often only partially, and sometimes even incorrectly. Clarifying our minds and ideas should help us use them correctly when needed. We all know what the Valsalva maneuver is, and probably we can easily deduce what the automatic method is. However, becoming familiar with almost 10 more techniques could help both diver categories, those who frequently and regularly face these problems, as well as those divers who usually do not have problems with ear and sinus equalizations. Ear equalization is a kind of art, and as the book reminds us, practice makes perfect. Practice in equalization, become familiar with more equalization techniques, and become proficient in basic diving skills, such as being able to control descent and ascent. All this together should help divers more prone to ear problems to better prevent and manage them.
The author offers 2 more interesting considerations to close this section. The first is that during a constant descent of approximately 18 meters per minute, we may need to equalize every 2 seconds. The interesting consideration is not the numbers themselves, but that we may think we have a problem with our ears, that our ears are not suitable for diving because we have to equalize so often, while instead, this is the average for many divers. So probably we have no more problems than others. We may just need to get more info and to practice them. The second consideration is to keep equalizing ears even when we feel they are already equalized. Not every 2 seconds, but every few minutes. This should help prevent problems.
Apart from the various techniques mentioned, is there something we can do to make equalizing easier? The author offers his perspective for both the short and long terms, suggesting what we can do before diving, the day before, as well as days, weeks, months, and even years before diving, and what we can do while diving. Most of these suggestions should already be part of the background of each diver, while others can address less common questions. Among them, starting to equalize early, starting to equalize from the surface, and descending feet first.
We take the risk of making a consideration supported more by daily practice than official statistics. Women are more susceptible to ear and sinus problems. Even if it is briefly mentioned, the book offers a consideration not often addressed. Menstruation can affect ear and sinus equalization. To help prevent problems, women should consider this factor if diving during menstruation periods, or at least be aware of this possibility. Many other problems, considerations, and solutions are explored in the book, even touching on common practices that have proven to be more dangerous than the problems they aim to solve. These include wearing hood considerations, effects of cold wind, cold water, and air conditioning, mask squeeze, ear cleaning, vertigo, airplane ear barotrauma, tinnitus, natural products, and supplements.
In our personal opinion, this book is well organized, clear, and covers a lot of interesting information for all divers, even those who are not accustomed to experiencing equalization problems. It can be useful for instructors and dive guides as well. Some chapters or sections may be skimmed more superficially, as the detailed information on product or solution names and features may be quickly forgotten or cause confusion due to the abundance of options. However, it is good to know where to find this information if needed. The book is easy to read, making it accessible to most divers, who will likely discover some interesting and previously unexplored information. If one were to find a possible criticism, a summary table of causes and remedies would be useful for quick reference in the future if an urgent need arises.
Thank you for watching. If needed, find in the description the link to a downloadable summary of this video with book and author reference. Remember that by clicking on the bell and by subscribing, you will be informed about new videos, while by sharing and giving a like to this video, you will help to spread greater awareness among divers.